Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I am super excited to be coming to you today with another fresh episode for your Wednesday. Welcome into the show. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. And here we are in the middle of another week. Can you believe it? Can you believe we're halfway through? It's wild that the weeks just keep flying by like this. We're 5 months away from the end of the year. 2024 has almost come and gone, and we haven't even noticed it. And that's been crazy. Hope you're having a great start to the year. I hope you had a great start to the year. We're over halfway through now. So if you didn't, well, Fix the last half, I guess. That's what you could say to that. But hope y'all are doing good for real. And thank you all for tuning into the show today. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the love that we get, the messages we get, the reviews we get. We actually had a new review come in this week, which I do want to take a second and read that, because without the reviews, the show would not be possible to grow, right? That's how people come in and see the social proof. They see, oh, that must be a decent show. There's 100 reviews on there. It must be worth it, right? So, there's an alarm going off. Better turn that off. This is a new review, July the 26th. Young Bob said, "Awesome show, great jewels. Thanks for investing in our growth." We also had another review earlier on in July. Bieber229 said, "I'm in year one of my landscaping business and couldn't be happier about finding this podcast in a world full of fake influencers. It's nice to hear from someone genuine who has been there and done it. 5 stars, very helpful." So, appreciate you leaving those reviews, both of you, if you're listening to this show. We truly appreciate it because, again, we can't grow the show. The show doesn't get much more social proof than that. Like, that's how we do it. And so I implore you to go leave a review if you don't mind. That is something that, again, I've said it 4 times already. It helps the show grow. And so we appreciate that. That's the best way to support the show and help us grow. So we are here to grow the community one relationship at a time. We talk about that all the time, right? But today's episode is going to be short and sweet, nothing too crazy. I want to hop into a topic that we've talked about on Instagram a while ago. Just posted another story about it. And I want to kind of hit on some things that you would tell your younger self. And we polled the audience here, got a few different answers. I want to kind of dive in and talk through some of these. Some things that I would say to myself, going back in if I was starting over, because we have a wide range of people listening to this show. We have a range of people from 13, 14, 15, all the way up to 45, 50 that listens to this show. And so lots of different stages in life, stages in business, stages in family, all the things that go into it, we have that on the show. And so that's what I love about it. I love that we're able to help that reach a broad audience and make sure that we're adding value each and every week. So today I want to talk through it, and this could help. I think this could definitely help the young guys. I think it could also help some older guys as well, because, and I try to talk about this all the time, it's all about seeing things and hearing things from different perspectives and said in different ways than you would ever say it, right? And we had a round table, and we talked on the round table, and we had a guy in there that's been in business for 7 years who's mid-30s, and we had a guy who's been in business for 3 years, and he's 15. And that 15-year-old could come in and learn a ton from that 30-year-old and talk through a lot of things, help his business grow, right? But also, that's a breath of fresh air for the 30-year-old as well, and for me, and for anyone else in there that says, hey, look at this 15-year-old coming in and like having new ideas and being so passionate about his business and make enough money to save up and buy a truck, right? Like, those are the things that are the top of his mind right now. And that's so cool because it also makes you think, like, you know, where did I lose some of that? Where did some of those processes, those thought processes go. Maybe I should resort back to some of that because it's working for him. Now, obviously, different stage of life, living at home, in school, blah, blah, blah. But, like, there's probably some things that he does that you could say, you know what? Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea to live. Or a bad way to live. So think on that as you go through this show today. We hear some of these topics talked about, some of these phrases said. Even if you're older, don't tune it out because I think some of this could even be applicable to you, maybe if you're early on in business. So let's start off with an Instagram reel we did a couple weeks ago, and I want to just kind of run through some comments. The question is, what would you say to your younger self? How would you, if you had a piece of advice to give to them, if you went back and started over, how would you help the younger generation? Because that's what we're here for, is to help the next people grow. That's literally the point of the show, right? Build community, help people grow. So let's start with the Showcase Lawn. Showcase Lawn, Ken said, know your worth, know your numbers, practice profit first, be professional, never stop learning. Your network is your net worth. He also followed that up with, it's not the grades that you make, it's the hands that you shake. And so there's a ton of truth in that statement. I personally have not followed the Profit First plan. I have seen it done. I've seen it done successfully. And so I think it definitely is a good idea to do if that's the route you want to go. But I don't think it's an absolute necessity. But I do think that it creates good principles, right? And so check that out. But knowing your worth, know your numbers, those are two huge things. Never stop learning. That's what we talked about before I even got into this. Is like, no matter what age you're at, no matter what stage you're at in business, never stop learning, never stop having an open mind. And so take those things with you as you go. And it's not the grades you make, it's the hands you shake. That's huge. And it's not that, pair that with what I say all the time. It's not who you know, it's who knows you, right? And if they're shaking your hand, they have a better chance of knowing you. And so make sure that you're following those principles as you grow your business. Professional Lawn Maintenance said, invest in yourself, go to Equip, meet leaders in the industry, find a mentor, read. Very good. Investing in yourself covers that whole statement there because Equip is an investment. It costs money, costs time. Finding a mentor is an investment. It takes guts to ask somebody to help you. And reading takes investment, big time investment, right? And you're feeding your brain with positive things and beneficial things, not just listening to music and letting it rot away. So constantly be investing in yourself because when you are the best version of yourself, that's when you can really see growth, breakthrough, and help others grow as well. CPR Lawn Care in Florida said, investing in yourself is the best feeling. Take your time when you start up to avoid going into debt for business expenses. Slow and steady wins the race. Again, another solid piece of advice. And these are going to, you take each piece of these that you want and apply it to your business, right? Because everyone does business differently. It's not a one-size-fits-all. I don't want you to think that. I don't think that. So these quotes are not the gospel. They're just guiding principles to help you, right? But again, what do we come back to? Investing in yourself is the best feeling. When you are starting up, you don't want to go like head over heels into debt, as my personal opinion. You want to be able to, if you leverage some things, that's fine, but you don't want to just go like sink a ton of money in debt when you have no proof of concept, you have no clients, you have none of that built up, right? So do be thinking about that when you make those decisions early on in business. Elite's Cut Lawn Care LLC. Practice patience. Your goals and dreams never happen as fast and as easy as you want them to. Man, this is a good one. This really hits home. I was talking to my friend Joey Coberly the other day, and we were talking just through some things in our business, trying to get some guidance and fix some issues that we got going on. And we were in that conversation. We were just talking about because we're in it's very obvious, guys. We've talked about it. I'm open about it, open book. We're in a growth phase. We're reinvesting a ton of money into the company, taking on new pieces of equipment, taking on more employees. So with all of that becomes, you got to make sure you're pricing the right way, and you have to make sure that you're producing the way that you need to produce and selling the way you need to sell. Because when you have a big old labor burden and 5 employees, you got to produce the work, right? So we're talking through that, talking about some issues we're personally going through and dealing with in business growth, the same way probably a lot of you are. And I was asking the question, we were just having the conversation of, when does profit really start sitting in your bank account? When do you have toy money? When do you start go buy 4-wheelers and razors and stuff like that, right? Out of your business. because you see these other business owners do it and you're like, well, where does this happen? How do they go buy a lake house? Everyone's had that feeling, right? Everyone's thought that. You're on the grind. Where does the money come in? Where do we actually see results? So we were talking through some of that, and he said something that probably will stick with me forever, honestly. It's not that profound, but it's just like, you know what? That's actually really good. Like, I've never thought about it that way. And he said, you have to look at investing in your company like you're putting stock in your company. You're buying stock into your company. That's what you're doing. You're not going to get a big cash return in the first 3 to 5 years, 7 years. Like, that's not what you're doing. You are building stock. You're pouring money into the company. So when you get to the point where you want to sell that company down the road, you walk away with $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million, and or more, however you grow the company to, right? And that's where you get your cash from. And then you retire on that and you invest it properly, and then you're in good shape. And it just made me stop and think, you know what? That answers a lot of thoughts. That answers a lot of questions. You have to just be willing to invest and take the time and understand that it's going to be a hustle. It's going to be a journey. But you have to be patient. That's what Elite's saying here. Practice patience. Your goals and dreams never happen as fast and as easy as you want them to. And would I like to have more cash in my bank account right now at year 6 in business, but really year 3 of going hard? Yeah, I would love to have more cash, but that's just not a thing yet, because I have a family to support. We have 5 employees to support. We have a growing business to support. And so cash goes back into that. We reinvest. And it also opens up and says, hey, you want to have a bunch of cash laying around, you want to go do the fun things, the big things, the fun trips, then you better get working harder. You better either start your side hustle that can produce you some cash, or start pouring more and more into the company to where you can just generate a cash cow down the road. And so think on that as well as you go through today, practicing patience, goals and dreams. Don't get fed up with them. Don't get tired of them. Just keep pushing, because it just takes them a little longer. Yellow Dog Lawn Care Services said, find a mentor. So that's another repetition there. We already had that. Finding a mentor is huge. It doesn't have to be some formal mentor request. You just create a friendship and grow a friendship. And whether that be with someone that's around the same stage in business as you, or older than you, or further along in business than you, or just not even in business, but just wise beyond their years in life. There's multiple different aspects of ways to have a mentor in, right? You typically have them in different areas. I have a spiritual mentor. I have a business mentor. I have just a friend and life mentor. Mentor's a fancy word for just a friend, someone who's going to pour back into you, right? And you can learn from. And you don't have to make it weird. You don't say, hey, come be my mentor or coach me or whatever, right? Just, hey, let's be friends. Let me give to you. And you got to be making sure that you're constantly giving. You try to give the best you can. Don't be a taker. When you take, it just ends up bad. People don't want to help you. They see through it. They see through the facade. That's not the way to live life. Give. You will get return on that. 641 Excavating. Believe in yourself, listen to advice, but don't always go to a direction just because someone tells you to. Seek the wisdom, never stop learning. Man, that's good. That's almost like I said a minute ago. Don't take these 20 quotes and take them as the gospel. Don't just go follow something because I said to go follow something, right? Do the research, follow your own footsteps, and make your own path. Now, what you do is you take someone else's experience and you use that as a guiding principle. Someone says, hey, I use profit first. I love it. Live or die by it. Okay? Guiding principle here. He uses profit first. Seems like a good plan. Can we split bank accounts? Maybe we do 2, 3 bank accounts. We don't go all in with it if we don't want to. It doesn't work for our company, right? Doesn't fit the model. So we're still going to have a good company, right? But we're doing a hybrid of it. We're doing our own thing. We're figuring out a way. And so think on that as well. Just because people tell you to do something doesn't mean you'll do it. You can take that advice and say, let's vet it a little bit. And that's the thing, guys, that I'm more and more passionate about every single day in the industry, just in the world in general, in our great industry, the people that have influence in the industry. There's a lot of good people out there pouring back into you. There's a lot of people that are not at the end of the day. And so, vet who you listen to, vet who you trust, vet who you let into your brain. Because when you do that, you're saying, hey, come take up rent in my brain, right? Like, that's valuable space that I could be filling with something else. So don't be doing that for just anybody who's going to be tearing you down or creating drama or just having negativity or telling you things that aren't true about business or life. Like, figure that stuff out. See through the crap. Make sure that you are actually, like, learning from their content. This is for me as well. Anything that I say, go fact check. Like, go say, hey, should I be following this dude or not? I'm all about it. I hope that's what you do. And if you come back and you say, hey, I don't really believe this, I don't really think this is a good thing to be sharing, then yeah, we'll talk through it. Let me know. I'm an open book. We'll talk through it. But I typically don't say things that I don't back up, right? BMF Lawn Care. Start learning and networking sooner. Invest in yourself as well as the company, and pay yourself more. That's a good one to end on this section. Start learning and networking sooner. This is self-education. That's YouTube. That's books. That's investing in yourself, right? That's all huge. That's at home stuff, podcasts, audiobooks on the mowers, right? And then you switch to the networking aspect. That is LAL. That's Equip. That's Lawn Care Life. That's any live event that you can think of. That's Mike Andy's event. That's Naylor's event. Whatever event that you think that you can go to, again, vet the events, find the speaker list. What topics are you covering? Are you covering topics that are actually applicable to me running a business? Find those things out, right? Because you want to make sure that you're getting in and you're hearing from somebody who's talking about something and something that's applicable to your life or where you want to be in 5 years, right? So network sooner, network from the beginning. I wish I missed 3 years of networking. I started my business in 2018. I didn't really get into the industry into the social community industry. Probably, I don't know, 2020, late 2020, early 2021. That was probably our first year of kind of like getting into it and figuring it out and getting to meet people some more. And then it's been down the hill after that. Like, it's been awesome. I love it. Cannot recommend doing it any more than what we've done. So get into the industry and network. Let me flip over here. I tell you what. I just clicked on Instagram to go back to this poll. Let's listen to what Stan Dirt Monkey has to say with a video with Ballard Products with Corey Ballard.
I got Stan the man here. He's doing some product review and walking the facility. Super excited. Do you have any, words of wisdom? What would your advice be for those guys that are starting up, that are really trying to get to the next level?
Create an environment.
Okay, I'm pausing this. Are you kidding me? This is so crazy. This is literally the topic we're talking about, and you're about to get to hear it from Stan Genetic, the Dirt Monkey, right? Like, this is so. I just randomly clicked on this video, said, let's just see it. Like, I saw Corey and Stan walking. Okay, cool. 2 cool dudes. Let's watch it. This is literally a part of our conversation. This is so funny. Let's listen in.
That makes people want to work with you, right? People are not always money oriented. And in fact, some people are really terrible with money. So offering them money is just one of those things. What you want is you want to create what's called a corporate environment. You want to create this family, that attracts people and draws people in. Finding good people, how many people do you need? If you're a small business, you need 3, 4, 5 good people. You may live in a town that has 30,000 people. You don't think you have 3 or 4 or 5 rock stars out there? Well, you are just one person. Once you find one person, you want to start to put that message out everywhere you possibly can. Everyone should know that you are looking for somebody that is amazing, and you don't want just anybody. Right. What you want to do is you want to hire by heart, right? You can train anybody to run a blower, to run a mower, to run a skid loader, to run a dozer, to run a payloader. You can train anybody to run any piece of equipment, but you can't train them to show up early to work. You can't train them to care about their job. You can't train them to do all of these little tiny things that makes a person that just wants a chance to blossom.
Hey guys, Corey Ballard. I got Stan the man here.
Wow, that's good. Talking about creating a culture of positivity and just a good family unit in your business. There you go. There's advice from Stan. God, that's awesome. That's so cool. That is so funny. I just randomly clicked on that, and it is a perfect fit into the conversation today. So there you go. You heard it from Stan the man himself. Create a good culture. hire the right people, hire for heart and like personality, not just like skill when they come onto the job, because you can train them. All right, next section. We got one more section here of questions to walk through, and this is from an Instagram poll on stories. Let's walk through some of these. Same question we're answering. Southern Lawn 08 said, delegate sooner and buy as much real estate as you can today, not tomorrow. Real estate prices are not going down anytime soon. Interest rates may. Real estate prices are not. So I'm not going to argue with that statement much at all. Delegate sooner for sure. I wish I would have delegated sooner on in my business. When I got my hand injury in 2021, that was the time that I had to delegate, and I've been delegating ever since then. So I don't know where I would be if I didn't do that, because I was forced into delegation. So don't be forced into delegation. Do it happily, and do it under your own power, not because you almost had your hand cut off, right? And just teach, learn how to lead, and translate that over into leadership and helping guys grow as well. Liberty Lawn and Landscape 316. Procrastination is the thief of future joy. Just start. So that's awesome. Austin's saying like he's a new guy in the industry, just getting into it, hopping into the community. We've talked a couple times, and he's just rocking with it, just going hard. And he said, just start. Like, don't be on the fence anymore. If you're scared, if you're worried, if you don't know what's going to happen, take all those fears and put all that into positive energy and just start. Because when you start, there's not going to be any turning back, right? There's nobody's going to stop you. There's not going to be anybody to hold you back. If you just say, I'm going, and I'm going to do all these principles that we talked about today. We're going to start. We're going to not educate ourselves. We're going to listen. We're going to invest in ourselves. We're going to attend events. We're going to create mentors. That's how when you do just start, that's how you grow. Fayark said, focus. Eric Hill there said focus. One word, short answer. That's big. It's easy when you get started to get spread out. It's really you're more focused when you start. Usually you're mowing lawns. Now you could get spread out as far as distance goes. You could be driving all over the place. But as you grow, you start to expand your services a little bit. You get from maintenance, and then you start doing some mulch or some pine straw, and then you start doing some plantings, and now we'll dabble with sod and maybe get into some irrigation, or maybe we'll trim some trees, trim some shrubs, plant some plants, whatever, right? Do some landscape lighting. It's very easy to get pulled in a million different directions and do it all unprofitably and inefficiently, right? It's very, 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 very easy to do that. I've done that in my business in the past. We're trying to really dive in on like the couple things that we want to be doing and doing really well. And I know people that have lost a lot of money because they didn't focus. They didn't keep up with their jobs. They didn't do the things they should be doing within their companies to keep up with the systems and things in place when they start out and they start growing. And so early on, make sure you create a point in your mind to say, hey, I'm focusing. I'm not getting sidetracked. We're taking this thing to the moon. Supremescapes, Jamie said, much more than fits in this box, sir. Much more. He said, take calculated risk, learn, repeat, learn more, repeat. That's good. These are short little phrases, but it's like, you know what? There's a lot of fact in that. Take calculated risk. You have to take risk in business, but don't take just blind risk. Is there a time in business where you may take one or two? Yeah, probably. But usually you can make it calculated. Run the math, run the numbers. Do you have the customers? Are you forecasting to get the customers? Are you going to be able to sell the work? Are you going to be able to do the work? Is it a good piece of equipment? What does the lifespan have on it? You know, like should we buy this piece? Should we buy these clients? What should we do? What risks should we take to help our business grow? And so that is a huge piece of advice from Jamie there. Thank you for your input, because it's good. It's good. We could dive into that for another hour. Sarah Smiles 101604 said, know your financials and charge more. Know your worth. We've already had a know your worth today, right? Must be there's something to it. Know your financials and charge more. This is where LMN comes into play a lot for us. We're getting our numbers dialed in like we really never have before. And we're also learning like how much time we're spending places. We're learning what are we spending, how accurate are we spending in our budget? How do we even create a good budget? Because we've never had one. And so this is the first year. It's kind of a test year, figuring it out as we go. But charging more is huge. We're raising our rates right now, our man-hour rates. We're not going to go jack up our prices on our customers right now, but any new work that we are sending out we're doing it at an elevated rate because we've got to start seeing more profit come in the bank, and that's really the easiest way to do it because our overhead is not too high. Our labor's a little high, which means we got to sell more work and charge more in doing it. DK the Pond Builder said, enjoy the journey, keep pushing forward, and keep the faith. It's all going to work out. That's a good one. I think there is some truth to that as well. Enjoy it as you go. Don't get so stressed out that you can't sleep at night. There's going to be times. There's going to be times like that, yes. But just remember, you are going to get through it. It's a day. It's a week, it's a month, maybe even it's a year out of your 60-year lifespan, hopefully, right? And so 60 is pretty young. Let's say 80 or 100. But you are going to get through it. And that's something that I'm really working towards every day is not letting the everyday stresses of business come home with me and just ruin my family time, ruin my mindset because I've had it happen before and I don't want to fall into that. I want to just not put off your problems to tomorrow, no, but just know that it's just another, it's a day. You'll get through it. The sun's going to come out tomorrow. You figure out a solution. People are going through much, much bigger problems, much, much bigger issues than what we're going through and having to find much, much bigger solutions, right? So most of the time you can figure it out pretty easily. You get on the phone, you have a conversation, you get with a mentor, you listen to a book, you figure out you watch a YouTube video. You figure out, hey, what can we do, right? What can we do to get through this rough spot that we're in? And so it's definitely doable. I know that all of you out there can do it. I hope that this episode brought some value to you, just hearing a bunch of other different people's opinions and taking that and just saying, hey, how can we apply that into our life, into our journey, and knowing that I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here to watch you grow. I want to watch you flourish. I want to watch you turn into the business owner that's creating that cash cow, that's selling out in 5, 10, 15 years for $3 million, going and investing that and living a good life, and helping other people get started in the industry, helping other people grow. Because as you grow, just remember someone is always watching you. And make sure that you're giving the example that you wish you would have had when you were starting out, right? That's what the topic of today is. Hope you all are doing well. I mentioned LMN. If you do want to sign up with LMN, use code Jeremiah there, and you'll get an amazing onboarding experience that will transform the company if you do it the right way and use it to its full potential. So, hope you do that. If you end up signing up with LMN, let me know. I'd love to help you talk through some of that. If you have signed up with LMN, let me know. Shoot me a message. Say, hey, we're rocking in it. We're figuring it out. And I'm happy to help any way that I can there because I am getting a little more streamlined in it. It's doing just the usual. I'm not super deep in it, but I can do the basic stuff now, and we're rocking and rolling in there now. So hopefully you can do that as well. It's a huge asset to our company now, and I'm looking forward to having it in our tool belt moving forward in the rest of the future of our company. Equip Expo is also coming up. Use code GG50 there for $15 off. So Jeremiah for LMN, GG50 for Equip. I know I wish I could get them both the same, but use code Jeremiah. I mean, I guess I could say Jeremiah for Equip, but GG50 is what we started with last year. It's 50% off the ticket price, so it just makes sense. Growing Green 50. But GG50 is the actual code, not Growing Green. So, hope you all have a great rest of the week. Midweek here, just a midweek pick-me-up. Take this stuff, apply it into your life, help the next person out there, help the younger generation, and we're going to really see some good fruits of it to come in the next 5, 10, 20 years, and I truly believe that you will thank yourself for it, and I will thank you for it down the road when we are in a good economy with a bunch of entrepreneurs looking to make themselves better and grow along the way and help the next ones even further along down the road that they're going to be helping when we're old and retired. So, guys, thank you for tuning into the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave us a big 5-star rating review if you did. Those mean the world to us. Thank you for helping us grow the community one relationship at a time because that's what we're here for, and that's going to wrap this one up. So, thank you for tuning in. We look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.